So hello and welcome along today to Eclipse Motorcycles. Today we're going to be looking at this. It's the Honda Dylan 125 2004 used motorcycle. We have had already done the photos on this bike and a talk around video, so this one will be the ride video. And as you can tell, it is in exceptionally good condition for the year. Very well looked after by its previous owner. So we're just going to take this one out and give it a quick run around just to see the vehicle in operation. And as you can tell from starting, very easy to start and a lovely sound from that engine. Very well maintained engine on this. Just 6,253 miles on this. And the mirrors, as you can see, are lovely and big. So nice over the shoulder placement. You're not catching your shoulders in those mirrors. This does have the main beam, and it does have a pass light, indicators, horn, and of course the start button. All very easy to get to, what you would expect from the Honda brand. So we're just going to take this one out and give it a run and just show you. And once again, as from the off, very easy to place your feet, and the feet are well positioned on this little scooter. And we should do my normal ride tests that I normally do. So we're just going to get this one up to speed, and we're going to grab a big handful of front brake and bring it down, and as you can see, it does stop very quickly on the front brake. And I'm going to take it out round a few dual carriageways just to show you how it is and how it handles on main roads for urban commuting. So from the off, a nice big handful of throttle, and then as you can see, for a little 125, it does pick up speed very quickly. So there we go, and we're up to 50 mile an hour already. So from a little 125, it is incredibly nippy. Obviously on a day like today, slightly wet roads, it is a little bit breezy. And as we come up to the roundabout, I'm just going to grab a big handful of left brake and see just what it pulls like on the back brake. And as you can tell, once again, that does pull up very quickly, and the back does not lock at all. So feeding it into the roundabout. Now obviously it's a wet day, but it does lean over and handle very well. So it is very well positioned, and the rubber of the tyres very grippy for a little scooter. And then once again, back onto the throttle, and we're just going to top it out now, and just to see. Now obviously I've got a very strong headwind into me, but already at 50 mile an hour. Throttle held open, 55, and as you can tell from the wind noise, that headwind is very strong. But the bike is very well placed, it's not moving around all over the place, and I'm not being blown about. And there we go, so we're cruising along a nice steady 60, and we are keeping up with the flow of this traffic on a dual carriageway. So once again on the brakes and just bringing it down gently, and once again those Honda brakes are very good. And the Honda Dylan was a very popular scooter back in the 2000s. And I believe it still is. We have had a look around on the internet for bikes of a similar year, and obviously the ones that we've been looking at, and we only managed to find, I think, 3 bikes on the internet that were up for sale. One had 12,000 miles, one had 15, and the other one had, I believe, about 11.5. This has only done just over the 6,000 miles, so it's very good condition for the year. Owner of this vehicle decided that later on in his years, as an older rider, he didn't want to be on a scooter anymore. He doesn't like road traffic, so he's brought it in to sell, and we have it up for sale. So if you are looking at a little urban commuter, reasonably priced, with a reliable Honda brand behind it, and obviously the parts for Hondas are very easy to get hold of, you can obviously get yourself a nice reliable bike for some good money. And once again, just feeding it into the traffic. I'm sitting at a nice steady 60 mile an hour on dual carriageway. So once you roll off the throttle, the engine braking does kick in. And once again, pulling it down, I'm just going to go for a full emergency stop, both brakes. And as you can see, that does stop to the point where it wants to push you off the seat. So braking on this is exceptionally good. And once again, into the roundabout, just feeding it through, and as you can see, the positioning is lovely. So once again, keeping up with the traffic, onto the throttle, and it does hold its own, so it's not sluggish to accelerate. Very crisp response from the throttle action on this. And just putting it over a few potholes to do my normal thing, just to see what the response is like from the suspension. And it's just soaking up the bumps. I'm not being buffeted about from the posterior, so it does handle very, very well over the bumps. And my last trick is just the handoff, as you can see. One hand, bring it down, and it's perfectly placed. What a lovely little bike this is. And obviously slow speed handling is very, very good as well. So a couple of things about the bike. As you can see, looking down, there is a nice foot placement there, so you can get your feet up very, very easily onto this bike. Lots and lots of stowage space under the seat, and just down to the front of me I do have a little luggage clip as well, so if you are looking to put your shopping or a handbag or a little carrier bag there just to have your daily shop on, there is a hook there for it as well, and a nice little small stowage bin just to the left hand side on this one. And this does have the obviously the daytime running lights on it, so the lights are permanently on this vehicle, but very, very easy to maintain, and a nice view of all those clocks when you are in traffic as well. Now this would be an ideal little bike if you happen to be in town and you fancied being a bit daring, filtering through the traffic. The bar width on this is very, very small, so you'd have no problem filtering between cars if you were in a queue on a dual carriageway, which is one of my favourite things. I do like filtering and getting to the front of the queue. So heading back towards Eclipse motorcycles, we're going to take this one in, put it back on the yard. I will give you a quick walk around once we get back. But if you are looking for a nice little economical runabout, the car's too much to spend, obviously, with the prices of fuel, tax and insurance these days. If you are looking for something just to nip backwards and forwards to work, or just for the daily shop, or if you fancy something just for the weekend, just a little run around, just to get out and get on the open road, as they say. There's nothing like being out on a motorcycle or a scooter, and then this is probably the bike for you. Backed up with that Honda reliability. The final couple of things we do, we've got a nice large speed bump that we have just before the garage, and I'm just going to put it full throttle over that. So coming up, and as you can see, that soaks the bumps up well. What a glorious little machine this is again. So we're just going to pull it up onto the front yard and give you one final look around this bike. So once again, as we pull up, very, very easy just to pop it up onto that main stand. It does have a couple of passenger foot pegs that you can just pop out on the back of that bike. So that is the Honda Dylan, that's the 125. That's available at Eclipse Motorcycles on 01908 643 603. So pick the phone up, give the bike sales team a call. I won't see this staying around very, very long.